Greetings and welcome to this week's magical message. I pray that you all are having a wonderful week. I pray your weekend was really refreshing and relaxing. And we're starting this week's reading off a little bit late into the week, but it always ends up purposeful when, schedules kind of play out like that. So I want to talk about what it is that we've experienced and what kind of things we can kind of look forward to as we move into the end of this week and we're gearing up for these energies that are coming forward. Okay. So just an overview in terms of the energies that are taking place right now. We have the Two of Baskets. Now, this Two of Baskets talks about relationships. It talks about how two things are moving and relating to each other. They can either be moving in a way that creates growth, marriage, friendship, self-love. It could be partnerships, whether we're talking about work or otherwise. This could be when we talk about on more of a grand scale in terms of the world, there is something happening with partnering here. There's something happening with two different parties or more teaming up, coming together to make something happen or falling out, right? Things happening around us where, you're starting to kind of see the the true direction of whatever it is that's needing to take place. So for instance, you may be in a relationship, right? And maybe in that relationship, it's been a little rocky, but in the depths of your soul, you know that is something that you need to let go of. And maybe you're scared for whatever the reason. Right? Maybe you're not sure. Maybe you think you're being a little paranoid. Maybe you think you're being a little self-sabotaging, whatever it is that you're feeling, right? You may not be completely sure if that's what you need to do. Well, this week is going to clear this up, right? And it's really going to ask that you stand firm on your values, on the things that are important to you, on those things that are going to, or standing for those things that are going to help to push you forward in life, right? And making those unions with things that really honor who you are, right? And what it is that you desire. So, in terms of a grand scale thing, you may see different versions of ways that partnerships are coming together or they're leaving, ending this week. Now, with the beginning of the week, we have Eight of Coins. So during the beginning of the week, we were really working towards a goal. We were really utilizing the skill sets that we have to get to whatever our goal is that we have. We may have also had some contracts or some paperwork, some things that we needed to look over, some information that we received that really required us to kind of take our time and really assess what it is that we're looking at. So make sure that if you're still sitting with that, make sure that you're making sure that you are not trying to force it if you don't have your answer yet, if you're not clear, if you're not sure. Make sure that you're listening to your gut. Make sure that you are paying attention to whether or not this is something that's really for you or if it's something that's not for you. And maybe you're feeling like it's not, and maybe even if it's something that sounds really great. I had a really wonderful opportunity that came earlier this week, and for some reason, I couldn't get it out of my head that something just seemed off about it. And I looked at all the benefits, and it seemed like it was an amazing thing, and it was going to be really great. And as I did more research, this Eight of Coins, as I went in a little bit more and started to look at this thing, I realized that the feeling that I had wasn't just for me being paranoid or, me not really wanting to move forward with this thing. It was something actually going on with the company and with the person who had presented it to me, and that it wasn't going to be a good fit. But it wasn't until I was really willing to get quiet and get still and pay attention to what I was actually feeling and honoring it that I realized that yes, it had the face of a beautiful opportunity, but it wasn't going to be right for me. Okay, so just make sure that you're paying attention this week to what it is that you're agreeing to, whether we're talking about written or not, but especially where your values, where your money, where your investment, your time, your energy is going into, whether this is your own business because you're an entrepreneur, whether this is And some other way, maybe it's the way you care for your body. Maybe you're starting some new routine, and maybe you're starting some new way of living. Whatever it is that you're doing that you hold of value, that really causes you to feel empowered, make sure that as you're growing that path and journeying along that path, make sure that you are making decisions based on what is really, really, really true for you. And at some points, it may go against the grain, and that's okay. But be willing to stand firm in that. Okay. So with the middle of the week, we have the Four of Sticks. Now, this Four of Sticks talks about the mind. It talks about the ideas, but it also talks about the foundation. It also talks about being stabilized and having what's necessary so that you can do the kind of things that you want to do. Okay, so, but it's also about celebration. It's also about the two coming together in a unified way, having those energies moving in such a way that you're kept. There are certain things that you're not having to worry about. There's certain things that you don't even have to think about because you're taken care of. Right? And it feels like during the middle of this week, you're going to find that maybe you had some help you didn't realize that you had. Maybe, you had some support coming from some place that maybe you didn't realize cared, or maybe you were unsure of how much on your side they really were. And so, you're finding that, okay, I've got something, I've got someone, I've got this energy, this space that's holding me and supporting me. You may also find that maybe, you've been in the process of moving. Maybe that paperwork you were handling, or the paperwork you were looking over, maybe that was, maybe that had to do with the move. And so now you're finally in a space where you're finally setting down actual roots. Or you're just ready to move through the next level because you have secured this foundation. And you're looking forward to the things that can now grow and bloom from that. So expect some manifestations to come from the energies, especially the energies that you feel Wednesday, or that you felt Wednesday and that you're feeling today on Thursday. And really hold your intention. Understanding that you're standing on fertile ground, make sure that you are holding that intention. Now, in the shadowed aspect of this energy, you may find that, you're not able to move forward as quickly as you may like. You may find that some things are going on within the family, or just in your community, your friends. This could even have to do with work, especially if work is something that is really, really, really important to you. But again, we're working with balancing out that two of baskets as the overview energy for this week. So you're going to have relationships, some that need to end, some that have to change, some that cannot stick around. And it doesn't matter what kind of relationship or partnership that is, but there's shifting that takes place. Even as something is cementing itself with this Four of Sticks energy and becoming solid, right? It's kicking off whatever the last few things are. And so it's really going to call for you to need to stand in the space of integrity with yourself so that you can honor the changes that need to take place. Okay? It's not necessarily a negative thing. It just means that it is required for you to move forward in the ways that you really desire. And if you find that you're coming up on delays, do not force it. Do not stress about it. One thing that I have always learned, or that I've learned, is that anytime you are slowed down from something, it is something on the other side that you are either ill prepared for or would not be in alignment with you, because maybe it would be dangerous. Maybe there's more to know. Maybe if you go in at this moment right now, you won't be able to make as huge of a breakthrough because there's certain things you haven't gotten yet. So trust this process. If the things that you're desiring have not come together completely in a way where you feel like you got something up underneath your feet, it may not be literally complete in terms of everything is there, but if you're not feeling that ground beneath your feet, right? Make sure that you're taking your time and you're not forcing yourself to feel like you have to be a particular place at any particular time. Trust that if it's not time, it's not time. And just be open to the shifts and the changes that are taking place so that you will be ready when that door opens. And now we have Aunt Caroline. Now, Aunt Caroline is the Wheel of Fortune. She also represents that energy of as above, so below, and fate. So the things that we're going to be experiencing towards the end of the week are fated. These are things that have been in the works, right? So this energy with the Two of Baskets, this energy of balancing out had already been coming. And a lot of it, on some level or another, we have all resisted some of the changes or some of the shifts or just some of the acknowledgments that are now coming up this week for us to really stand firm in one way or the other. This Wheel of Fortune card, this fate card, Aunt Caroline, she is really calling for us to release the need to have the ability to control everything. Know that there are some things that are just divinely meant for you to release control of and allow for those energies to flow naturally, right? Because it's fated. You're not going to be able to go in and control it. It's not meant to do that. And if you try, you may find, especially at the end of the week, you may completely blow opportunities. You may completely miss some of the blessings that this energy has to bring because you are in a space of trying to control what divinely and naturally is telling you. You can't control this. Let go. Allow for the things that need to flow. This is not for you to push and shove and make the decision and say, this is what is happening. This is how. You have to trust the process. Because if you don't trust the process, you're going to end up being your biggest obstacle. And I mean, that's always the case, right? Regardless of the other things that we have around us, we're always going to be the one that is our biggest obstacle if we allow it. So this week, make sure that you're really taking the time to ground yourself in those core values because that is what you can control. You can control how you feel within yourself and your core values, what it is that you're willing to do, what it is that you're not willing to do. You have the ability to take the time that you need to look things over and make sure that when you do make a decision, when it comes time for you to make a decision, that you're taking the necessary time to really find out whether this is something that's for you or are you choosing this because you fear something. You fear you'll lack something. You'll feel you'll never experience something. You fear you don't have enough time, whatever it is, right? But whenever we make decisions from that place, they are destined to come up against obstacles and even fail at points. Because we can't create from that space. You can't create from a feeling of lack. You create from a feeling of fullness and completeness and having everything, this Four of Sticks energy, that you need. You have to know that you have everything that you need. And if you're looking around and you're saying, well, I don't have this and I don't have that, it means that you have not allowed yourself to surrender to what the truth is of this fate card. You have everything that you need in this moment. Trust your process. Stop looking around at other people and where they're at and where you think you should be. Pay attention to you because your road is most divine and harmonious with you. And so allow for this week to really bloom and blossom in some really beautiful ways by just simply sitting back, taking care of what it is for you to take care of, honoring yourself in the process, and allow for this clearing, allow for these pieces, this bridge to come together, allow for these things to move for you, because you don't have to do it all by yourself. And I think that's one of the beautiful lessons that we're getting this week is because so often we feel like we have to do everything. And, our society teaches us that. It teaches us that you got to get out there and you got to make it happen because nobody's going to make it happen for you. And to a certain degree, that's true. But you always have the support of the universe if you allow it. And if you allow it, there are some things you're naturally just not going to have to do. You walk into opportunities you never would have come across had you been out there grinding and trying to make it happen. So do what you need to do, but leave room for spirit. Okay? because Spirit is moving in some really divine ways this week. Make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on in your environment as well. Making sure that you're paying attention to how people are interacting, how companies and corporations and countries and all that kind of thing are getting along, because there are some changes and things that are coming down the pipeline. But it's important that you get good and solid with you, because of the energies that are coming forward. You're going to see those things kind of play out on a bigger scale as well. So you got to make sure you take care of you first. And that's what these energies are really talking about. So with that, I am going to close out this reading. I pray that you all got a message that really spoke to you, that really pulled you in the direction that you're really needing to go, and really kind of gave you that confidence to say, okay, you know what? I got this. But if you like the reading, if you want to listen to more readings like this, make sure that you like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you feel, you have something you want to share. My information is down below if you want to send me an email. I'd love to speak with you. If you want to schedule a reading, maybe you want to know more personally what's going on with you, with the changes and the energies that are coming forward, we can definitely set up a reading. I'm also doing ancestral readings. We're coming up on Halloween and Dia de los Muertos, so we are getting ready to step into a space where we're kind of honoring our ancestors. And, I figured it'd be a wonderful time to kind of offer that to you all. So if you would like a reading, an ancestral reading, if you would like just a, reading over whatever topic, definitely hit my email in the description. So I want to thank you all for listening. I love you all, and we'll talk again next week. Bye.